No, uh, things have been a little rough recently, and I've been making a lot of changes to my trading. Um, I'll take a look at the earnings call later. It looks like it wasn't terrible. Um, oh yeah, it was. It was not good, but you know, I had a little bit of a rough time here. Um, you know what? I might actually just do that today. I don't know. I still think Tesla has so much room to go down. It's not at this point. I think it's going to really kind of break here. Um, Tomorrow is Friday, so maybe next week's option calls we might grab a contract or two. Honestly, um, we're gonna see what they look like when it opens up. We're gonna take a look. But I'm below 25,000. So things are kind of hurting a little bit right there. Yeah, we definitely don't want all 14. It's probably gonna be fine. But I think Tesla is going to be going through a pretty steep decline. It definitely broke through the support through the 230s. I thought I was going to break down into the 245s. It did that. It's doing everything I thought I was going to do on Monday. Um, it's just Monday. It had a little bit of an uptick, and it just took it a few days for it to absolutely tank. Um, just it kind of sucks that I timed it wrong. The other thing that my issue was is I was just having way too wide of a spread. I needed to be able to open that up just a little bit. Um, so, uh, yeah. Anyway, long story short, um, I need to be able to play them out longer, um, in the long run. So it's one of those. It is kind of what it is kind of thing. So I'm gonna be paper trading for a little bit. I'm gonna be practicing doing some longer sit and holds. Now, part of that is because I've been doing that over here in my paper trade. I don't really want that on that stuff. That's my eBay and Amazon stuff. Which is gonna kind of go into a second or towards the end part of this conversation here, unless I get some questions. But this was a grab that I did over here several days ago. It was like earlier this week. I right here. This one was a cover from this one here, and then later on that day, I decided to just go ahead and take it a short. It was somewhere midday, and I haven't covered it. So through this day here, it was super red because I shorted it somewhere. Well, you can actually see where the short was. It was like halfway through and it went all the way up. So it was massively red there for a while. Um, this solid red line up here, not this one. So this one up here was just, I mean, it was way into the red, but I felt like it still had a lot of down pressure. I thought I would have to go up. But, I had a short right here at the 251 and it got, to 254 all the way up to the 257, 258. So I mean, I would have had to have $8 of headroom on that. Now, $8 of headroom, 400 shares, I would have had to say fuck it. Would have been a $3,200 loss. That's huge. But if I stayed in from right here, it hasn't even opened yet. It's at 34. So right here is the 1-to-1. And as we can see, I did not expect that much of a huge gap down today. But I mean, you're talking about another excuse me, 6% drop, 7% drop overnight. You know, I was figuring we were going to come down and test these lower zones right over here. That's why I was wanting to try to short up here, but I just kept on getting gypped out. And last week and this week, it took a lot of money away from me. I screwed up. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say this or that. I screwed up. I was trying to micro trade it, trying to micromanage it, um, and I was losing track of the bigger picture. But when you're sitting through losses, it's very hard to sit there and just say F it, right? To just say it's okay. Um, when you have so much money on the line, it's a very scary situation. But I'm quickly learning these large caps are very, very different. And I knew that they were different. I knew they were different. But it's a very interesting difference going from small caps to these large caps. Okay. You got to play them so much differently. And I was screwing up massively. Um, I was way too jumpy. So I'm gonna sit back for maybe all this week. I'm not doing any more trades this week. I don't care what the market's doing. Next week, I'm only going to be doing a few trades, um, and very small. I'm going to be doing a lot of paper trades, so I'm still going to have my morning show, but I may only start it, maybe right around 8 o'clock. I don't think starting it an hour before the market's going to be needed, because I'm going to have a lot more of a long-term outlook instead of more of the short-term micro outlook. So it's really going to be more of trying to find, the support resistance, like, okay, here, there, yada, yada, yada. And trying to narrow it down instead of like an $8 window. Try to get it narrowed down, as low as I can, but with enough room so I can get these much bigger wins right here. This is what I want to do. And whenever this so over here, this is not updated with today's lower price, so this is going to update massively when the market opens on what this would be valued at. So it's a lot easier to do things sometimes on paper trade when you don't have that emotional attachment, because you know it's fake money, so you could easily say, you know what, F it, I could let it ride, I don't care. I could just click a button and reset this account in a matter of seconds. And I've been able to grow this account, this fake account, from a low dollar amount pretty aggressively. But in my real money account, I keep still getting emotionally attached to the dollar amount that I'm losing, and I can't let it play out like I need to. That's something I need to start trying to get more comfortable with. And I was actually talking to Obsidian about that yesterday. We talked for quite a while. We were going to talk earlier in the day, but I ended up very busy yesterday. I'm going to, try to really kick into high gear some of the offline businesses or money making opportunities that I might have available to me to help cover, being in a trade for an extended period of time versus what I have been doing. So, I'm going to start trying to get my offline deals kind of working better. My eBay, Amazon, that's what I was kind of working on yesterday. I do own a part of a furniture company. I was doing a lot of work on that yesterday. Was talking to several vendors, trying to get some things moving there because we have not been selling that much furniture. We have pieces that are just super unique that you're not going to find anywhere else. I've showed it on here before. This is not going to be a sales pitch. not at all. But, you know, I want to try to capitalize on trying to get things more in place to move stuff like this right here, because this is where I think I can start to fill that deficit that I'm having financially. I also have some medical stuff kind of going on right now. Again, I'm not gonna, make this a sob story, but I think it's good that I'm gonna step away from trying to trade as much as I have. I'm gonna get some paper trades in. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do some longer term trades and allow things to kind of just move and be okay with it. So, I would like to take a trade today, but I'm not going to. Um, you don't want to go FOMO, but this drop is absolutely beautiful. It's going to probably drop. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it coming all the way down into the 200s or lower by sometime next week. Um, maybe not. Maybe 210. I think 210 is quite likely. We might retest this part right here. 210 is not going to be that much lower. So probably another 6% between today and tomorrow, or we might hit the 6% today and it might find a rebound like it did right here. And in that case, I'm going to want to try to, if I was trading or my paper trade, I'm going to, kind of try to bounce back around at that point. So we'll see what it kind of does, and then I'm going to make some adjustments over here. I don't even have a stop loss set at all for this paper trade. I mean, I could probably try to make an argument saying the 233 would give it more than enough room to allow it to still move down, but I'm not even going to worry about trying to put in a stop loss right now. I'm just going to let it roll the way that it is. And there you go. That could have been a $10,000 trade right there. I just would have had to hold it. Hold it through a $3,000 loss to get that 3,000 back plus another 10. Wow, wow, wow. But this is where I would be losing, or not necessarily, because I probably would have been interested in trying to enter in down here. But what I really think I need to try to do is, maybe try to get an overall average, throw in a little bit up here right now as a short. And then, if it goes up, play it out a little bit, but that way I can give it, up to 230 or 231, give it like these major, where it really has to start making some big levels here. 232 might be even a good area. But I don't even think it's going to hit the 232. I think it might get close to 231 and then it will start to turn down. But if I grabbed 400 shares, I would be getting really freaking nervous right now. But if I threw 50 shares, I would only be down right now if I did it at 25 at 27, 25 right here, I might be down. I'd be down maybe 150 right now, give or take. I can't do the averages in my head very well. But there you go. Even make it up to 230, 231, 232. I think we'll have a hard time getting past right now. Um, Especially with its earning call not being fantastic. it may actually end up having a green day. This could be the beginning of a reversal. I mean, you would have to give it quite a while to figure that out. But if it really kind of breaks above 232, it might signify more of a reversal than a continuation down. So, I mean, like I said, if I was shorting it up through the 228, which is where I probably would try to think to do it, um, I don't know. I'm kind of talking on my butt right there. Uh, give it 232. That's, $4. I mean, I could, that's half of eight. But yeah, I just think trying to do some longer term plays is just going to be more important, and be okay with taking, so to speak, more loss chances. Yeah, see, it's going to go all the way back down, and it may come back up, but the 230, or even 231, I think it will just have a really hard time trying to get past with all this down pressure right now with the news they had yesterday. Now, I didn't even read the news on it, so I don't know the details on it. I don't, when I was trading this stock, that's not the way I was trading it, but it very well, just due to its volatility, you may have to do it a little bit more kind of like that. It's going to be more like a swing trade, where it's going to take more points of information to be affirmed and be able to sit through potential losses. I mean, in all honesty, you could probably start trying to make the argument saying, you know, down in this area somewhere, depending on what it does today, going to tomorrow, may be worth to actually start trying to pick up a few shares or unload some of your shares. If you're on a short, start covering some of them, so that if it does come back up, you're not losing as much. One, two, you can start grabbing, profit on the way back up. But how firm of a move that is yet, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm going to have to do some paper trades. I'm going to do some on-demand trades here with TOS. That's a feature that is kind of useful, but maybe not super productive sometimes, because it is a little buggy. Okay, it is a little buggy, but it does work. And I'm gonna work on trying to really get my eBay and Amazon going. If I get more money coming in on that, then I'll be a lot less stressed. So I'm looking at several different options here. Yeah, see, it's breaking down. So I would have had to hold through the 228. And, I wouldn't even put the stop loss in yet, because it could still pop up to the 228. So, I would just leave it alone. Still have my stop loss still deep into the red, so to speak. Because I think this is going to have a very good chance at making a new low today. Um, the selling is really, coming in strong now. Comparative to where it was over here, you had a lot of buying going on. But now you got a market sell-off here. This is going to drop really hard, especially when these people over here start to flip. You're going to see this red really kind of speed up here. So see, there's some strengths that I could have gotten sold out. Yeah, maybe in profit, but I'll be getting into that chop where my losses could be higher than any of my profit margins. So yeah, I'm just gonna be kind of curious. I'm not gonna sit live today for too long. Um, no one's really coming in, and there's no questions. But I'll be going live. Like I said, probably sometime shortly after 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna be looking at the handful of large cap stocks. Um, Maybe even look into some other stocks periodically, using FinViz or other sources that I got to kind of see, other possible options out there. Um, I did say I was curious in taking a. So if it gets down close to 210, that's 36. So that would be 370 right now. But if that happens, it would be an absolutely ballin' move. If that happens between today and tomorrow, which would be 6%, and it did that just post market or pre market. Here, it would be quite a bit more, but would give you another week to, allow that to move out through. But, there it goes. I'm not surprised. I mean, some of these options here, they were pretty significantly cheap if you go back. If you go deep up in here, right? You're talking about like a penny or two if it can get there. A couple pennies. But 120 people are buying some of those up for not very good reasons, I don't think. I don't think it would get that low, but if it starts to get that low, those options will start to run up in value. Um, you can see here, this is where the 190 is where it actually starts to flip into a red or a green option. Because this is a theta decay right here, or delta decay, one of those. I don't know the Greeks very well, but this is the decay, and that's why it's worth less. Here is where it gets in the money. And that's part of the reason why I didn't even put a paper, on my paper trade saying, hey, 229. I think it has more room to go down. I think it's going to go red today. And it's not really far from going red right now. That's where it opened right there. So, it was red a second ago. Again, I would still, I would be relaxed right now, honestly. With small share sizing, I would have been minimum at 228, maybe averaged up a little bit higher on the short. I'd be locked in pretty good. I might put it, no, I don't even know if I would put it at, a break even yet. I think it I think it could pop up into the 28, but I don't think it would break above 231. I would want to wait until it breaks and makes an absolute new low, and then I might bring it. I might would bring my stop loss down if I was in this on, today. See, there's the breakthrough. It's just gonna, it could be kind of choppy through here, but I don't think it's gonna get above 227 now. I think 227 is kind of affirmed. But at the 228, I just would have had to suffer this potential loss up here. But I was pretty sure of the move, the direction. If I try to micro trade that, I would have lost money. So that's where I'm saying I have to try to get a different mindset. But that could also mean that when I do take a loss, my losses will be pretty significantly high. Instead of it just being a couple hundred, it could be a couple thousand. But on the plus side of that, on this one trade right here, I was 10,000 up. As of right now, it's 10,400 something. Now, this is not accounting for any fees. There would be some fees for me being on a short, carrying it for that long. I could have done about 100 without going into margins. Well, not right now anyway, but say you did about 100, so that would be 10, 4, divide that by 4. That'll give you per 100. So that would have been for 100, your money. So you wouldn't have margin expenses, but you would only have the short expenses. Still 2,600. And in this case, the margin would have been worth it. And it could get a little choppy through here. It may even break above 227. There's a possibility of that. I don't think so. I think it will find some heavy resistance, but it could pop up to, 227.50, get up into right around here. But, there's the break, and it's just going to keep going now. Maybe a little bit pop up, but probably wouldn't break. I mean, saying 227 is still probably very affirmed. And that's the hard part. I would just have to be able to sit through the blip ups, like this one right here. It's fighting around the 224. It could go back up to 225. If it doesn't, break below the 223.5, it could go back up to the, 25. Okay, so it broke. Looks like it's going to break through that. Got down near it. So 224 could act as support. It could bounce up. Okay, it's not. Still breaking. So Tesla is trading at 223. Don't really have a 223, but it has dropped down through a couple dollars here. I mean, excellent climbs here. Hmm. I think, like I've been saying, I gotta try to play these longer plays. Um, it could go above 225. I actually am expecting it to, but I don't think it will get up past 227 still. It could get close to 226 and then collapse again. So, if I was in this today at the 228, you know, maybe I'd be moving it down to close to 227, possibly, just in case it's going to be reversal and then actually climb up. But, I'll probably be walking away at the computer. I'll throw in a stop loss somewhere, maybe up here somewhere, and just walk away. So it did get to 225, and there it goes. New low and tank. Some resistance. Could next candle could be a little bit of a climb up, but is it going to break the 225? I don't know. It could, but I don't think it'll break 226. So it could break 225 still, but maybe not 226. 227 would still be way too high. And if you see like a super bullish candle, I mean, you can always jump out, but I don't think that's going to be happening. I mean, with the news that it had yesterday, um I think it's going to be a strong short. I think it's going to sink for a good part of today, maybe even till you might see like a V shape kind of going on. So maybe, around the afternoon or something, you might get some uptrend. Is it going to break 225? We'll see. Or there's 224. There's the 225. 226. Mind you, we're sitting somewhere right here at 227 if we did the short at 228. So we would be in profit at this point. $226 could be an area where it could pop up a little bit because we don't have a super strong resistance at 226. It did not really fight around that point too much. It was either above it or below it by a good bit. But it could break above and then go down, where it could break up, come back down, and then curl right up through the 226, because the 226 was not an issue. The 227 was. So I'd still say 227, 228, somewhere in there. Probably closer to 228, 227 than 226. Give it as much room as possible to just allow it to do its thing. This stock really would need to get above 226 and hold 226 as support for it to start to break back up. And 226, there's not that many people that came in. There's a bit, 225. Quite a bit right here. At the 225.8. But you see the 226 is not even a blimp. Okay, it is a little bit of a blimp. But people were not sitting right here. They were sitting down there at the 228. Right here. So you could probably make the argument now that if you were in this today, you could probably move it down to the 226. Leave it below with the 228 because I guess that's where they want to sit at. Give it 20 cents above that, and there you go. You got 227, 227.5 or 10 or something. So that way, if it wants to go a couple pennies over and then, fail, it could. We've seen that all too often. And that's taking my money all too often. Especially around those, solid dollar marks. And one of these videos I might end up doing is getting a conversation going with Obsidian. And get that uploaded. Because him and me, we kind of talk quite a bit. But that's gonna be the end of this stream. I got two packages I got to get out, and I'm going to try to get some things happening here. So that's going to be the end of this live stream, and I'm going to try to go make money somewhere else. So thank you for watching. Where's the thing? Oh, there's the thing.